Now, when we talk about, as I have on this thumbnail here, the lies are in his eyes, and Kohberger, of course, tells lies, or there's a lot of emotion, whether it's empty emotion, whatever it is, in his eyes. But in my studies of body language, when someone is being truthful, their eyes will get larger. The pupils will get larger. When someone's lying, they will get very small. Thus comes the term, he had beady eyes, because person lying, their pupils get smaller. But for an interviewer, an interrogator to get so close as to be able to see the pupils, that's not really, I don't know, it's not really practical, I don't think.
Well, quite often when if you see somebody in your family, your wife or one of your children, your eyes will dilate a little bit because your brain is taking in all the information it possibly can about that person because you like them or you love them. And when you see something that you disagree with or that scares you, they'll get wide as well. So there are different reasons that the eyes dilate and don't dilate. And for psychopaths, the only time or the major amount of time that their eyes will dilate is when they see fear or they see something, they know someone's in trouble or they're afraid of them. That's when they dilate. And when it comes to deception and the eyes dilating, it's a really tough call. Like you said, it's tough to get that close. It's tough to measure them. It's tough to see it. It's tough just to focus on that. You know how it is when you're sitting there. If you just started doing that, it would look weird and it's going to mess everything up. That person's going to start feeling weird. And they're going to be thinking something else, and they're totally off the track of where you're trying to put them from a psychological perspective.
Scott, everyone watched last week, I believe it was, of Bryan Kohberger, and how absolutely cold he was when all he said was, when he was asked if he murdered these human beings, all he said was yes. Let me play a little bit of this just to see the unemotionalness of his responses.
And let me ask you, did you, on November 13th, 2022, enter the residence at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder?
Yes.
Did you, on November 13th, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, kill and murder Madison Mogan, a human being?
Yes.
And did you do that willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and malice of forethought?
Yes.
Did you, on or about that same date in Moscow, Idaho, kill and murder Kaylee Gonzalez, a human being?
Yes.
And did you do that willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, and with premeditation and malice of forethought?
Yes.
And did you, on that same date in Moscow, Idaho, kill and murder Xana Kernodle, a human being?
Yes.
And did you do that willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and malice of forethought?
Yes.
And then on or about November 13th, 2022, again in Latah County, Idaho, did you kill and murder Ethan Chapin, a human being?
Yes.
So again, basically no emotion there.
Right.
Just yes. But talk to us about the rigidness of his body.
Okay, we can look at this from a couple of different perspectives, because this is also the same behavior you'll see in someone who's on the autism spectrum, because quite often that person will just give straight answers. There's no emotional attachment to those things. There may be emotional attachment to them, but you don't see it on them. People with autism, they have emotions and they feel bad and they feel sorry and they feel lonely and those feelings. When you're dealing with a psychopath, they're not always just like this, what we're seeing here. This is common behavior for that, but it's not the only time the only kind of behavior we see in those situations. So a lot of times the psychopath will be someone that everybody loves. They think they're the most fantastic person. They're gregarious. People like them. They get a lot done. They're in charge of something. They always try to put themselves in a position of power, and people really like them. Most of the time when women meet a psychopath and they end up getting married to him, they think that's the most wonderful person they've ever met in their lives, because what the psychopath does is he reflects you. He shows you you. He starts doing the things you do. He starts talking about the things you like. He starts, if you do this a lot, if you sit this way, he may mirror you and start sitting that way too. We all do that when we are around somebody we like, or that's someone we want to be like, or or a hero or something like that. But so we'll match them, and we'll talk the way they talk, and we'll mirror them. We'll sit or stand or do little hand gestures like they do. But psychopaths do it very quickly. They pick up on that very quickly, and they know exactly what they're doing, and that's why they do it. And everything revolves around zeroing in on what you like when you first meet that person, what you think is good, the things that you might think are cool, or the things that you like to do. They'll zero right in on that, and you'll get a little hint of that. There's no way just to spot one, but you'll get a little hint of, I wonder what's going on here, because they'll ask you about these specific things really quickly after they meet you. And it's common when you first meet someone to ask them what they do and these kind of things, but they'll ask you one thing and they'll scoot on and do something else. They won't get into the details of it. If you like a specific kind of music, they may keep asking you questions about who you like. They'll move on to the next thing. And you like art, and they'll ask you the specific art, the artist you like. They'll get specific about some of these things, and then they'll dismiss that, but then they'll zero in on all those things and start peppering those into the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Scott, and from our perspective, I'm going to have Phil ask you some of these questions because he was in the box doing interrogations during his NYPD career. Give us just generally 5 signs of deception, and then Phil can talk about his experience with that.